We would like to welcome you to the disco, to the Pop Girlies disco
We're
that
at the
we only hold
disco.
occasionally.
Pop girlies all the time, disco occasionally.
Pop all the
We
time, girlies occasionally.
we're at the disco where we kiss all the time, we welcome all the time, and we open the utensils drawer occasionally.
Maria, you kind of just got a New York accent when you said that.
You also, that was long. It was like a limerick.
We listen all the time. We. That's what it sounded like.
Wow, my gosh, I didn't realize.
Well, I
That's
didn't hear that. Drew and I
She's
maybe
Italian
heard,
and from New York.
we heard different, like, versions in our headphones. The Levi computer didn't pick up a New York accent. Maybe
Oh.
the Drew computer did, though.
well.
Sound off in the comments if you think Maria has a New York accent.
Wow.
And but while I'm talking to y'all, you need to follow us and do everything. So,
Yeah.
subscribe to us on YouTube if you're listening to this on YouTube, and like it, obviously, the video.
Leave a
And
fun
probably
comment.
leave a fun
Leave a
comment
fun
that we
one.
will laugh about in the group chat, and Maria will respond to.
Yep.
If you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, you should leave us a review. But if it's not 5 stars, you're not able to leave reviews. But if it is 5 stars, then we want your review.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else?
I mean,
Uh,
same with Spotify, definitely 5 stars on Spotify. Anything
Oh, I
lower
didn't
than
know
five
that you could
stars.
review on Spotify. I don't know how that place works.
Yeah, you can.
If
Well,
you on both Apple Music and Spotify, it turns out if you do something less than 5 stars, it like blocks your phone. Like it like locks your phone and it like overheats and like turns off.
yeah,
So
you
you're
get a
actually
bug.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
also if you want to comment on YouTube, Maria will 100% respond. So you should definitely do it unless you're rude. Which
Well,
honestly we probably would respond.
I would
if
definitely
you
respond.
if you're rude, can you give me the login password? I want to let them talk to me. Okay, I'll be the bodyguard of Pop Girlies. I'm the bouncer.
I mean, sometimes, we might be pop girlies, but we're not perfect. So
We're not
sometimes
perfect
sometimes
girlies.
we can actually get things wrong when we're talking about albums, and we have had warriors comment and say, "Oh, actually, this was released in this year," or "Oh, here's a little nuance of a detail that maybe you got wrong, and here's the clarifying answer." Sometimes people in the comments are very helpful. Example being our Hounds of Love episode. I don't know. There
Hmm.
was some year that I got wrong, I think, sometime during the episode.
How
So
could you?
someone from Kate Bush Community College was so kind to correct me. And it was just awesome. It's just like this is the community, this is the people, and this is Pop Girlies.
We look
The
at details.
Our Ellie Goulding episode also attracted a historian of the
Oh
Goulding.
my God, yes, an Ellie Goulding historian popped
Which
in.
Um,
love. We need
yeah,
more of
Love.
those.
yeah, and then the most iconic comment of all time is
Super
episode
8.
starts at 15 minutes. This is the best thing ever. And then the person acknowledging it, if you're
Yeah, I
listening to
know.
this person, leave a
Yeah.
comment. We love you.
Yeah,
Tell us when the episode starts. Wink, wink.
it's been so long since that person commented. Like, we would love to know that you're still
It'd kind of be embarrassing if she, like, or whoever it is, it wasn't listening
I mean,
anymore, but
you can
whatever.
only hope that they are, but
You never know. You never know who this will find.
I mean, Pop Girlies is forever, will always be here for when you
Pop
come back.
Girlies is forever. After
I
the end
mean,
of civilization, after the ruins, after
cockroaches
the
and
ecology
Pop Girlies.
falls, Pop Girlies will remain.
Yup, yup.
Hot track time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, I just realized, in Pitch Perfect when they're doing the
Zoom, zoom,
audition, and
zoom,
they're like
zoom, zoom,
zoom.
zoom, zoom,
You could
zoom,
do that
zoom,
with your
zoom.
name, Drew. Drew.
That's when we're getting ready for our riff off.
Can't wait for that.
If you know, you know.
Um, okay, so my hot track, I was actually having kind of a hard time figuring out one this week, but today at work I was listening to some music. I was just on vacation in LA last weekend, which was so much fun, but I came back to so much work to do at work, and so it's kind of one of those where I just needed to like zone out and like give my thoughts away and not uh, not acknowledge anything outside of me. I don't know. Sorry, I was going
That was
in.
an
Oh.
interesting sentence.
Oh. Ray of Light lyrics be like,
Yeah, literally.
But anyway, I listened to a lot of Taylor today, which brought me to a lot of the life of a gag girl.
Life of a gag girl, life of a smash girl.
And I just love that title track with Miss Sabrina
Oh,
Carpenter. Hey
are you thanking
Kitty.
me for the lovely bouquet?
Yeah, like it's just you put the life with the showgirl, with the Sabrina, with the Carpenter, and it's just good.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
It's
You put
just
the
it's
kitty with the pretty and witty, and it's just good.
like stop. Like just fucking stop.
Like she's literally pretty and witty. Gag it!
Gag it.
I mean,
So
love.
Well, can
life
I
of
go
a
next?
gag.
Because mine is kind of related to Drew a little bit.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Not really like a lot related, but kind of related. Because Drew, where were you this past weekend?
Los Angeles.
And I've
Is
been
that
in
your
a
hot
high
track?
mood AF. And so I'm going with my favorite Haim song, Los Angeles. We will get to Women in Music Part 3 eventually. That is like super Levi T. I know that's super Drew T as well. Maria, I don't know your tea about women in music. I don't think you've even looked at the tea, really.
Well, easy. Because I actually have.
Oh, you have. Oh, well, okay. This is the Pop Girlies Education Center. I didn't
Ugh.
know.
I
Don't
actually have.
wanna.
I have listened to Women in Music all the way through, but it was in an era where I was like listening to at least one new album every day.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I was over consuming music when I listened to it, so I really don't remember any of it. So when we do eventually do it and I do give it another listen, it might as well be my first listen of it. So,
Okay, period.
yeah.
Well, Los Angeles is my favorite song. It's a perfect song. It's the opening track. And it just has
Ditto.
this like it has this mood to it that I've never found in another song. And like it's about your relationship with your hometown. Also, it's about depression. And it's like kind of the mixture of those two things, and it's just incredible. So that's my hot track.
Wow.
And Maria, you're gonna go now.
Yes. Well, I have also been listening to a lot of music lately. So I had some options for my hot track, but I think I have to go with the opening song of an album I've been listening to so much lately and have even mentioned it to you two a lot yesterday. Um, but we've kind of been like going back and forth on like when we're gonna do like a group listen of this album, kind of like we did Art Angels. And it just hasn't happened yet, but I can't wait for when it does because we'll obviously do the album at some point. But my hot track this week is going to be Survival by the Queen Honey Madonna.
God, I love that song.
It's so good. I listened to Bedtime Stories twice all the way through back to back yesterday. It's
It's
just
such
so good.
that song is such a gag to open the album following erotica.
It really is.
Like that's how she addresses everything.
Yeah. Because she's been up and down and all around.
And
And
she's all about
it's all about
survival.
survival. It's so good. That album is so good.
Oh
I'm
my God, it's
so
so good.
excited for when we eventually talk about that album on the pod because it's just going to be so good.
I know I was hashtag pissed we couldn't do our group listen yesterday, but I was hashtag swamped.
No,
Hashtag
it has
work.
to come at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the love tried to welcome me text that you sent yesterday, Maria. You know
Love
how
Tried to Welcome Me was almost my hot track.
you know how I feel about her.
I mean, I sent it with that Nicole Kidman gif of her on like the balcony with like
That's
the
so
drape.
that song.
There's the fierce zoom in that gif is so good.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Uh,
So yeah, I'm just living for bedtime stories so hard right now. So
I mean, it's just so good.
it's just so good. And I think when we were talking about it not too long ago, you were just like, it's so listenable.
Yeah, it is.
But
I
like
feel like
it's
when
so
I feel like I have to wait to listen to it like while we can all text while I react to it because I feel like it's gonna be like gag Tina.
totally. Because I'll be damned if I miss another live text of Drew's first listen to a Madonna album again.
Yeah, have you been there for a Madonna first listen?
Well, we listened to
Oh,
Yeah, we
True
just
True
did
Blue.
Blue
one.
together. So there was that.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah, we
just
did.
did one.
True
Yeah,
Blue.
True Blue.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Tovalo. I was like, okay.
So that's actually not a Madonna album. That's a
I'm like,
person.
actually, I don't think we did listen to a Tovalo album together, but
You're like, oh, Tovolo. Okay.
Um, no, it that's one of my favorite things about bedtime stories is that like it really is an album I feel like you can put on at any time. And like it's just
100%.
like the replay value I think is like off the charts.
and
It's
you both will.
astronomical.
And I do. You'll catch me in the gym lifting to Forbidden Love and, take a bow because I can.
I mean, ending an album with Take a Bow.
Take a bow. The night is over. Take a oh.
Stop. It's so good. Woo!
Oh my God, that just got me. That really just got
I
me.
gotta calm myself down. Freaking out.
Let's sit with what we've heard.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be sitting for too long because we're going to be dancing occasionally at the disco, occasionally, but we'll all be kissing
We'll
because
be kissing
Maria's
all the
going to
time.
start us off.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for that, Levi.
Yeah, I'll be here all week.
Yeah. Yay. Okay. So, as I'm sure everyone who has clicked on this episode has gathered, we are talking about the new album from Harry Styles, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. It just came out a couple weeks ago, so we are doing somewhat on the ground reporting. We've had a couple weeks to kind of sit with the album. So I'm interested to see how that factors into our thoughts and whatnot. But this is our first time like formally doing a Harry Styles album and like formally talking about him. As maybe listeners of the show might know, our first ever episode was about Renaissance, and I did just so happen to go on a little bit of a tangent about Harry's house while we were talking about Renaissance because it did, in fact, win Album of the Year over Renaissance. So I did kind of get a little bit heated about it, pun intended. Um, but yeah, so all that to say, we haven't really formally talked about Harry, and he's like, without a doubt, one of the most commercially successful artists of our time right now. So definitely is a prominent figure in pop music to discuss. So excited to talk about his album today. I'll go through like a little bit of background on Harry since we haven't talked about him yet, and then just kind of do a brief overview of his career so far, and then dive a little bit deeper into this album. And then we'll all, of course, share our thoughts on the album and whatnot. But if you don't know who Harry Styles is, congratulations, because you've successfully been living off the grid for at least 16 years.
The concept of not knowing who Harry Styles is, I can't even imagine that.
It would be like extremely impressive to like have no concept of who Harry Styles is.
Yeah, I don't even know how one would obtain that
Yeah,
status.
truly. So, with that being said, he is an English singer-songwriter and actor from Holmes Chapel, England. He's certainly a trailblazer when it comes to contemporary male pop stardom. Did kind of usher in a renaissance of that of sorts for, our current era. He's also a prominent fashion icon, as I'm sure everyone on the planet knows. But his career began in 2010 as part of the one of the most commercially successful boy bands in the world, One Direction. They were formed on the British music competition series The X Factor, and they were actually the last group eliminated from the show. They did not win the show, which I feel like is often the case with like whoever tends to become like, the most successful. I feel like it's similar for competition shows, and then it's similar for like Best New Artist Grammy winners. Like I feel like that's just like a trend of a lot of times like the person that doesn't win ends up becoming the most successful. So, just an interesting case of that happening here. So yeah, One Direction, one of the most successful boy bands of all time. I mean, I'll get into it later, but I was there. I was in the trenches of One Direction fan, universe. Like I was there. I was on the front lines. They disbanded in 2016. But before I get into Harry's solo career, I'll just briefly mention his filmography, which includes Dunkirk, which is a Christopher Nolan film, Eternals, which is a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, My Policeman, and Don't Worry, Darling, which, again, if you don't know about this, then again, that would be very impressive
I
because that
loved
was,
that era. That was so fun. It
I
was
mean,
awesome.
that was a great time to be on Twitter. Holy cow.
Oh my God. I still think he spat on him. Because I
I
know when I
mean,
seen the video, you're gonna look at me and tell me that he's not spitting on him.
because it's also like, why else would Chris Pine like make that reaction?
Yes. And like you see the lips form. Till I'm blue in the face. I believe he's hashtag spit happened.
I mean, when you think about it, it happened. When you think about it, the Harry Styles spit or did not spit is kind of like the dress gold or blue
Absolutely.
of the 2020s.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Kiss all the
um,
time, spit occasionally.
That's what this should have
now
been
there you
called.
go.
No,
Oh my gosh.
now we're getting it.
Now we're talking. So yeah, Don't Worry, Darling was like a major pop culture moment. And was also like the era where he was also in a relationship with Olivia Wilde, who is the director of the film. So yeah, that was a huge bookmark in pop culture of the decade so far, without a doubt. His first solo album is self-titled, Harry Styles. Sign of the Times was his debut single as a solo artist, which was certainly a major, just, again, pop culture moment. The album itself was majorly influenced by music of the 60s and 70s, including classic rock and singer-songwriter ballads. His second album, Fine Line, was more of a return to pop music, with the singles Lights Up, Adore You, Watermelon Sugar, and was released in December of 2019, which of course ended up becoming a major COVID album or just like era in general, since it was released right before the COVID-19 pandemic. During this era, too, notably, he was the first solo male to be featured on the cover of Vogue, and he was wearing a blue dress in it, which was, again, major moment in pop culture. His third album, Harry's House, was released in 2022 and is very much pop album, typical Harry recipe of an album, I would say. As it was the lead single, which was a huge song. It was like very difficult to even like step out of your front door and not hear the song. So that was a major moment. He also headlined Coachella during this era. And the album won Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album at the 65th Grammy Awards. So his fourth album and today's focus is Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. Was released on March 6th, 2026. Was produced by Kid Harpoon and Tyler Johnson, who are his primary collaborators like throughout his entire solo career for the most part. This album also features Ellie Roswell of Wolf Alice. Forgive me, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her last name wrong. Also features, which I did not know, Tom Skinner of The Smile, which is the like Radiohead side project. So that was like news to me. I had no idea. And John Metcalf of the Durutti Column, which I also just learned, and more revelations on that when I talk about my thoughts about the album later, because that was like jaw on floor moment to read that this person was involved with the album. Um, but getting into genre, this is definitely more of a dance pop sound, a little bit more influenced by electronic music than his previous, like more kind of traditionally poppy albums. And the lead single was Aperture, which was released on January 22nd. And then the second single was American Girls, which was released alongside the album's release. And notably, he is going on the Together concert residency tour to promote the album. In May, so a little bit of background. In May 2025, it was reported that he had been living in Berlin and was working on his fourth studio album. And the move to Berlin was, pretty much a signifier of the sound going more towards like a synthesizer heavy sound, going to, kind of embracing like a more electronic sound. And he's also revealed that the album was like majorly influenced by LCD Sound System and wanting to capture like a more joyous sound through electronic music. He also did mention that the album's title is something that he considers a life mantra. So that's fun. So the album it blends synth pop, dance pop, and pop rock with groove-driven production and elements of post-punk, indie electronic, and alternative dance and funk. So, how about that? This album currently sits at a 72 on Metacritic. Pitchfork has not, or wait, no, Pitchfork did review this. They kind of, what was it? I can't remember. Do you guys remember?
It wasn't great, was it?
It
It
was
wasn't
in the
great.
fives, I believe.
That's what I thought.
I
I forgot to
will.
check it.
I'm double checking right now. Ho.
Okay. But I will say, just overall, like as far as critical reception, it did receive generally favorable reviews. So that is our background for the album. So yeah, very excited to hear what you guys think. First, kind of like hairy discussion, so it should be fun. Um, but yeah, let's
So,
have. Oh,
the stupid subscription on Pitchfork won't let me see. Okay, it's a 5.6. I found it on Twitter.
oh, great.
5.6. Oh my God, Life of a Showgirl outsold.
Wait.
The only time it's ever beaten anything critically.
I mean, whoa. Okay. Well, that is kissing all the time with the side of disco
Yay.
occasionally.
Maria, you did great. You gave us so much information, so much more than I was
Yeah, I
anticipating. I
feel.
love the little debrief that you gave about his career.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're so
Um,
welcome.
Thank you so
yes.
much.
Thank you so much. So I think we'll have Levi go first.
Ooh, scary.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, this is a fun one. I'm excited to talk about Harry. I think it's always interesting talking about somebody who is a major cultural force. And I also think it's interesting doing it with somebody that like the three of us, none of us are like stands of or like huge major fans of. I know that all of us have some kind of relationship with Harry Styles and his music. I know that Maria at one point was like a devotee, and obviously I don't want to steal your tea. Your tea is yours to share. But and like I personally, I think my relationship with Harry Styles, obviously he existed for me for a long time as One Direction and as Taylor Swift, ex-boyfriend. That was when I feel like I first started really thinking about Harry Styles when the Directioners were like so cruel and evil to her on Twitter. That's where like a lot of like the slut shaming stuff started. It started from the One Directioners. I've always liked Harry Styles. I've never had a beef with him because his fallout with Taylor, like, it wasn't like anything like super dramatic. I mean, 1989 kind of shows all of that. That's the album that he is the primary inspiration of or for. I didn't really check in much with his debut album. I had listened to Sign of the Times. I really liked Sign of the Times, but I didn't really explore beyond there. But in college, I feel like I was around people who like loved Harry. And so I tuned in for Fine Line album release. And I love Fine Line. I think Fine Line is an amazing album. I feel like we've said it before, but if a album of his was going to win album of the year, I don't get why it was like Fine Line wasn't even nominated for album of the year, which I don't really understand that because it's genuinely like a really, really great piece of music. I listened to it a little bit ago after this album came out for the first time in years, and it's awesome. It's great. Harry's House is an album I feel like I have like a strangely complex relationship with because it's like it's funny because it's not like an album I'm thinking about all the time, but I feel like I like have gone back and forth on it. When I listened to it the first time, I was not into it at all. And then one of my closest friends, Irene, who friend of the pod, is a huge Harry fan, and so she like at multiple points has kind of like gotten me to like see the light on it and like be into it. And then I feel like I kind of like dip back, like I go back and forth with it. Where I'm at right now is I think it's like a pretty good album. I think it's a step down from Fine Line. I don't think it has as much substance as that album does. I think that it's more repetitive sonically than that album. But it also has my favorite Harry Styles song ever. So that's something to say, which is Little Freak. Uh I love Little Freak.
Whoa, I did not know that was your favorite Harry song of all time.
Yeah, because to me that sounds like a Stevie Nicks song. Like I feel like
Oh,
that's
well,
a song she would
yes.
write.
Completely. Yeah.
And my favorite mode of Harry, this is important to note, which I know is different from Maria. I don't really know what Drew's take is, but I love like pathetic loser Harry singing a ballad. That is my Harry T. I find him most interesting as an artist when he's not leaning into the like sexy rock star, pop star, like teen idol turned sex symbol, heartthrob kind of thing. I love him most when he's like a loser, like talking about like cheating on his girlfriend and regretting it, or like missing something. Like that's the Harry Styles that I find really interesting. And he leaves little nuggets in every album, little loser, pathetic loser nuggets on every album for me to dig my teeth into. So was very like curious, when this album was released. Since the way that it was released was we got the artwork and title first and then the first song. I'm gonna start talking about the album artwork, which is I kind of just don't understand it. Like I don't. It's not even that like I like dislike it or like it. I think his first two album covers are incredible. I love the debut album cover and I love the Fine Line album cover. The Harry's House album cover is good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. Like I like the concept. This one, I just like I'm confused by like so much of it. I'm confused by like why we're outside because nothing about this album, even just from the title, but like sonically gives outside at all. Like I don't know why we're like in like a marsh, but it's also a disco. I think it's interesting that like kind of the quality of the photo like isn't that great. Like the way that it's like processed or there's like it's grainy. It's kind of like not super in focus. Like I like that. The disco ball, like that's fine. Like I don't really have an opinion about it. I don't really get the way that the album, like the title is. I feel like that's a little. I just I don't really I don't know if that is really serving a purpose beyond being gooby dooby doo like eye catching.
Gobbledygook.
Um, yeah, I don't know, but I it's really just like why are we outside? That is what I don't understand, especially because we're not discoing all the time. We're discoing occasionally. So like if we were discoing all the time, I would maybe understand it. It's like, oh, like he's outside, but even when he's outside, he's at the disco. But that's kissing. We're only discoing occasionally. So I don't understand why we're in a marsh.
Well, it's funny too because I feel like he like has so positioned himself as like the nature like produce guy, which is in direct opposition with like disco electronica.
Totally.
So I'm
Well,
like,
and
maybe that's the vibe of like with him being outdoors is like those two things coming together, but I feel like it's just a little bit too vague.
You guys are so gonna LOL at what I thought like the photo, the marsh was.
what do you think it
I
was?
did not think it was marsh. I thought he was like going in the those like drug parties like that you see in movies where you like go in the middle of the jungle.
What?
Name a
The
movie.
fuck?
Name
Yeah,
a
what
movie.
movie are you talking about?
Like, oh my god, there's so many. Like, I'll have to look it up. But like the like when they go on like retreats or something, and then they like have to go and like everyone's like dancing in the middle of the jungle or something. You guys have to know what I mean.
I
Like, Like they play on it in the Madagascar movie where they go and the penguins or the lemurs are all dancing in the middle of the
Well, I
jungle.
didn't know that was like a drug, like a play on like a drug fueled thing. I mean,
It's
what
also
you're
in the
telling
show
me, I'm,
Looking with
which I haven't
that's the
seen.
less yeah. But there's a whole bunch of I'll find them and then I'll get to it. But that's what I thought it was. Like I thought he was like just leaving the jungle disco.
I mean, it's
Maybe
not
that is
confirmed
what
or
the reference
denied,
is.
so
Yeah.
it can't be ruled out.
I don't, I just feel like, because to me, the shrubbery, like, looks like the shrubbery around, like, Illinois. Like, when you, like, leave Chicago, like, it looks very Midwest to me. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, why are we, like, in, like, a marshy, like, bushy area? But there, that I just don't get. I don't like. I don't understand the thought process behind it. I think it takes away from everything. That getting said, I actually just kind of speaking of this transition, Maria kind of brought it up, transitioning into like this really like electronic sound. I'm really into this sound. So I think the first impression that I had, which was apparent from Aperture, which I know that I think upon first listen, out of the three of us, because we were texting, I think I liked it the most. Because I did enjoy my first listen. Uh, I liked that it was a big departure from Harry's House. Because I think the thing with Harry's House I feel like it's different. It was different from Fine Line, but it felt muddled in a lot of places to me. And like this feels like from the very first song, Aperture, it feels like a distinct thing. And the way that the electronic production sits in this is very, very different from any other previously released Harry Styles music. And so that alone, that kind of like big shift, especially after years and years and years of not releasing something, I really, really appreciated. Also, and I made this connection when Aperture was released, and I've also seen other people like on Twitter, online, make this connection. To me, sonically, this is like his Midnights. This feels very much in line with that kind of like subterranean bass led, synthy, moody electropop. Uh, which obviously go watch the Midnight's episode if you want to know my opinion about that. And I'm not saying that this is Midnight's level because it is not, but I do think it's like serving a similar sonic role in his discography that Midnight serves in Taylor's discography. I like this album. I mean, I know that this has kind of caused a bit of like a conversation online. I feel like it was very polarizing. Just personally, anecdotally, I know people who hate it, but then my friend Irene, who's huge, huge Harry fan, she said that like she thinks this is his best album or his her favorite album. So I don't think that. I think like it's gonna be tough to beat Fine Line. But I think this might be my number two album. I really enjoy this album. I love the production. I think the production is really rewarding. I think you can tell this is an expensive album. Uh, and the more you listen to it, I think I've listened to it in full now three or four times, something like that, and then individual songs more. Every single time I listen to it, I'm like noticing some like weird sound in the background. It's very, very layered, it's very intentional, and I feel like it's the kind of production that is meant to grow on you and is meant to get richer and fuller over time. And I think that just due to his status as a huge pop star, I think it's kind of been overlooked how I think weird this album is sonically. I think it makes a lot of like kind of odd choices. And I think that that should be commended. Lyrically, I think that we're operating in a similar place that we were in Harry's House, which is another kind of jolt that I have with Harry's House is I feel like he moved from kind of more straightforward writing on the first two albums to this kind of like impressionist like fragment of phrases and words that it's kind of more abstract and you kind of have to like tie the meaning together. I feel like we're in similar territory lyrically here that we were on Harry's house with regards to this kind of lyrical approach. But for some reason, it works a lot more for me on this album. And I don't know if that's just because I like the production more, but I think that it kind of fits this like moody atmosphere that we have going on. I don't, I'm not bothered by this not really being a dance album. I do think artists need to be wary of like referencing dancing or disco or whatever like in titles and then not delivering like a dance album because I do think that like kind of fucks with people's expectations. I know that some people felt that way about Dance Fever by Florence and the Machine. I saw people like be like, "This isn't a dance album," and I'm like, "Okay, well, if you know fucking Florence, you would know that she's talking about like a medieval plague. So like, let's get into it." But I think even though we're only occasionally discoing, I think the mirror ball on the cover, the disco in the title, him talking a lot about how this was inspired by like the sounds from Berlin clubs, I think that created a not accurate representation of what this album is. And I think that a lot of the reaction would not be the reaction that was if he had just kind of properly promoted this. I think that this is a much more like mid-tempo ballad driven album, which I think fits the vibe of like what he's singing about. I mean, he's singing about like I think lost connection, pining, missing after something that's like gone. There's a lot of like I think bittersweet moments on this record, not things that not topics or atmospheres that really lend themselves to super crazy dance heavy, but I just think that he screwed himself up and kind of shot himself in the foot. I don't think this is a perfect album. There are tracks that kind of blend together a bit for me. I really don't like one track, which we'll get to. There's a track that I like cannot stand that I find really disingenuous and frustrating as a listener. Uh, and I think like for him to kind of get to like a huge level for me, like a fine line, I would like him to kind of return to like the more straightforward songwriting. Um, Not saying that like the writing on Fine Line is like, simple or rudimentary, but it's this like fragmented thing I think is a bit hard to penetrate. I can't really tell you what a lot of these songs are about. And I'm a lyric hoe who like every time I listen to an album, I have the lyrics in front of me and I'm really trying to think and digest the lyrics, but I can't like I can't tell you what a lot of this album is really about. Irene has had to kind of like decode things for me. And I think it's helped. Like I enjoy a lot of the melodies. I think there's a lot of really strong melodies on here actually. I like his voice a lot throughout this album. I think American Girls to me is like a vocal highlight across his career. And then I'm really, really into this production. This is just kind of a sound that is super tailored for my ears. But I would love it for him to, in the next project, be a bit more like lyrically coherent and like thematically tighter. I think that he would benefit from somebody who maybe pushes his songwriting in that direction. But overall, I really like this album. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say in this moment because I know your thoughts from when the album was first released, and so I'm very curious to see how they've shifted or changed. But yeah, I'm like pretty positive on this album. I think it's a good album, and that's my
Thank
tea.
you. Well, thank you so much, Levi. Thank you for brewing and spilling that tea.
The tea is the
Whoa.
pot. Oh, kettle. Oh, it's woo. It's ready.
It's sizzling.
All right. Well, Druita, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So I've had an interesting relationship with Mr. Styles. I was not a One Direction person. But kind of like Leo was saying in college, he was surrounded by a lot of Directioners. I feel like my exposure to Directioner culture started actually in high school. I was really close with a lot of Directioners who were like crazy, crazy obsessed. And so I kind of like got to know the lore of them and then it was cool to see like him go solo and like what that did because obviously like his persona as a member of the band was obviously very different from when he kind of broke through in his solo stuff. Um, And I wasn't really there for the first album. I I feel like I don't know why I wasn't there, to be honest, but I didn't listen to it when it came out. Um, and I didn't really listen to it until we started college. But once I was exposed to that, I really got into it. I think his first album is phenomenal. Like, I think that to me is where I think the production fits and the lyrics fit, but I really think his voice is like so phenomenal, especially on that first album that fits the kind of rock sound, but also the kind of singer songwritery stuff that's on there too. Um, and I also just think like everything was delivering for me in that first kind of era. I mean, because he was doing the outfits that were so particular and great, and I mean, like he was wearing like a different suit for every show that he was doing, which was just so like cool, and it fit his vibe, and I don't know. I felt like the music was just so good, and every song on that album it kind of fits with like the kooky vibe that he's kind of doing now. But every song on that first album does feel like so different. Like it's kind of one of those to me where I feel like any song on that album could have been a lead single and could have been like hugely successful. Um and then I was obviously friends with a lot of Harry fans in college, obviously Maria being one, and so I was there to see like the Fine Line intro and like how that shifted a lot of things, and I really love Fine Line as well. Um, However, I do think the kind of like the rock sound I think does fit him just a little bit more than like pop Harry. But I agree with you. I think Fine Line is so phenomenal. I would probably put self-titled though at the top for me. And then Harry's House was kind of where he lost me. I feel like he kind of released two masterpieces, and then Harry's House did just kind of feel a little bit like, um, kind of like riding the wave of like the production on Fine Line. Kind of what Levi was saying. Like, I feel like the production was very similar for me, doing like kind of poppier things, but it just felt less like specific. It did kind of feel like it all kind of blended together for me. And I do feel like it was very overhyped. I mean, like the album of the year win was like crazy for me to witness. Obviously, like he was so on top of the world at this era, and I think that has a lot to do with winning album of the year. So I don't like hate him for that or anything. But yeah, I've never really gotten into him as a person. Like I think I don't know, he's just hard for me to like I feel like for me, obviously I talk a lot about like needing like more lore and needing things. I think maybe since I wasn't like fully obsessed with him like from the start, maybe that's why I'm not as interested in him now. Um, but Harry's House was really where I was kind of like, okay, I don't think he's for me. And then this album kind of comes along, and I will be honest, like when I listened to Harry's House when it first came out. I liked a few of the songs for sure. This album, I'm kind of in a weird spot with. I, so everything that I love about his music, like the what I was mentioning about his debut album, I feel like it's just gone here. Like I feel like I mean, like what Levi was saying, the lyrics being so abstract, which is kind of going, that started in Harry's House really for me. Um, but I think I think abstract and like these lyrics that you have to like decode. I think that is cool. However, I feel like we as like the public don't really know that much about Harry, and I feel like that is what makes these abstract lyrics so hard to understand because like I don't know, this album's been out for weeks now, and I feel like the lore on this has not come about for me. Like, I feel like I still don't know what a lot of these songs are about, or like what we're supposed to be taking in from that. Um, which makes it very difficult for me to latch on to. I feel like if it's even a little bit more emotional, I could try to feel something. Um, But yeah, I think he's such an amazing vocalist. I think he's also such an amazing live vocalist. I love seeing like TikToks from all of his tours. I think he sounds so amazing. I've never seen him live, but I I think he's so great. This album to me, I to be honest, I don't really find any vocal highlights that I haven't heard from other works. Like specifically from his self-titled or even Fine Line. Fine Line I think has stronger pop vocals that are, I mean, obviously I would classify this as a pop album. Um, so that I was really trying hard. I could come around like there were songs on Harry's House where I thought his vocals were so amazing, like Satellite, Daydreaming. I think is so amazing. And there I feel like aren't any of those here where I think the vocals are really good. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's also a lot of speak singing on this, which I think could be cool if we kind of got that payoff in like some of the choruses or something like that. Um, but unfortunately, I just didn't think that a lot of the melodies were strong enough because I wanted him to sing more. Like, kind of what. I don't remember what episode we were talking about this for because I don't think it was Eternal Sunshine. I think we were talking about another album, but Levi mentioned how like in a lot of Ariana's era where she was doing like the kind of like trap pop, he was like, "You have one of the greatest vocals of all time. Why aren't you like? Why are we speak singing?" And that's kind of what I was feeling like here. I especially like the lyrics are abstract. We can't understand what you're saying. You're not singing like pretty, and you're speaking, and what are we doing? But anyway, I was also going to talk about the whole dance pop of it all. I think, yeah, I think I wanted a little bit more dancey, especially with the title. I think the title was cute at first. Like I thought that was like I thought that was kind of cute and fun. I think it matches his brand so well. Like he loves to play with like little kooky things that like kind of don't make sense at first, and then um, like it kind of makes sense. This to me, unfortunately, like it was cute at first, but then it didn't make sense. Um, which is like it. I mean, it happens, and maybe this just really wasn't for me. I am so glad that that a lot of I've seen a lot of people online talk about how they like the production, much like Levi. Like and I'm so glad that that's the case. I didn't see as much of a departure in sound from Harry's House. Like I feel like, and maybe it was just because I was expecting like a huge departure, obviously from the time away. Um, but and it also might have been because I didn't really fully digest Harry's House. I feel like as much as other people who did understand how much of a shift in sound this was. But I was getting a lot of Harry's House nachos on this. Like Pop, I know is a song that a lot of people really love, and it kind of does stand out. I was getting like a lot of cinema nachos from, and I love cinema. I was getting a lot of like the cinema nachos from that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay, okay,
Without a
yeah.
doubt.
I don't know. I was just a lot of the songs I feel like could match with like American Girls, and I feel like almost like a late night talking kind of thing. Kind of sounds like they could be a little similar. I don't know. I got a lot of similarities. And again, it could be just because I'm not exposed to this album as much. I listened to it probably like 4 or 5 times now. Um, but I would have loved like something that maybe would have like exceeded my expectations because I would have loved to have loved this. And I feel like I really would have come around to it. I was ready to, um, but it wasn't really that for me. Um, but there are some moments that I thought were cute. Um, and yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Yay. Well,
Oh,
thank
and
you.
I actually I like the cover. Sorry. Because
Important to
I
know.
was getting the jungle thing from it, but I will say though, I mean I like the cover, but it does not. Your Levi was so on the nose. It does not match what the the album, the sonic landscape, it doesn't really match for me. Um, like I wanted him to like I feel the rush. Like I wanted this to be like a something to give each other moment.
Oh, and what a moment that would have been.
And that would have been like the moment, you know?
Wow.
Um, yeah. But, you know, and I'm so happy that all of these hair girls are being fed. And yeah,
Well,
boom.
we had it.
Well, we had it.
Yay. Well, thank you both so much for sharing your thoughts. I will go into mine and then we'll talk about our least favorites and favorites and score the album as we always do. Um, but yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit scatterbrained because I have a very deep history with Mr. Styles, and I'm kind of not sure where to start. But I guess all I'll say is like I said earlier, like I was major directioner, like it was like so much of my like brain space was dedicated to like being a huge fan of One Direction, like loving them so much. I listen to One Direction all the time. Literally, it's like thanks to One Direction that I have like one of my best friends in the entire world. So shout out to Miss Rosa. If you know, you know. But but it's just like honestly, like liking One Direction and there then afterwards like being a huge fan of Harry Styles, like, has honestly, I think, been such just like a huge part of my life. And I think honestly has also played a major role into like how I interact with things that I like. Because, obviously the concept of like fangirl of boy band is not popular, or excuse me, is not a new concept. That's what I meant to say. I mean, obviously it's like Beatlemania existed before One Directioners existed. It's like this isn't a new concept at all. But like I think that becoming so obsessed with something at like preteen age honestly probably did something like chemically seismic in my brain that just caused some sort of situation where like if I like something, I have to be completely 100%, 10 billion percent obsessed with it. And it like consumes every single part of me, you know? So it's just like that's just like how I operate when I really like something, as you know. So yeah, I think that's honestly played a huge role in just how I interact with like media. If I get really into something, it's like going to consume me completely. So thank you, One Direction, for creating that chemical reaction in my brain that happens when I like something. But yeah, it's honestly played a huge role in just like how I also began like consuming music like on my own also. One Direction like kind of came about I think when I was coming a little bit more independent with like again just like branching out into like finding my own kind of style of music that I liked also came about when our generation was getting more into like we were getting like internet access for the first time and being trusted with like our independence on like social media. Social media was also brand new at this time somewhat as well. So very pivotal moments in our development were happening around this time. So yeah, all of that to say, I was a huge One Direction fan. Once they disbanded, Harry was definitely the standout for me as far as solo careers go. And I mean, made such amazing memories, like seeing him live, especially when I was like really, 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 really in the trenches of like Harry standum. Um, like, I mean, Drew can attest as someone who is sitting here on this call. Like, we were in college when Fine Line came out, and that was like peak Maria, like being like huge Harry Styles stan. So Like I honestly feel like Drew was able to bear witness to like many a meltdown of like I love Harry Styles so much. So so yeah, it's like that's just like honestly a huge I think yeah, just like bookmark in my life is like loving Harry Styles so much. Like it has to be said. It's just the truth. Um so yeah. There's also I feel like a lot to say about like just fangirl culture in general, especially with One Direction becoming really big around like poptimism kind of era, and especially with pop music being like the, you know, one of, if not the most like forerunning genre at the moment. Um, there's just a lot to say about it, especially with like, I would say reference our Sabrina Carpenter Man's Best Friend episode if you want maybe more context on like just the topic of like pop music being taken seriously and it not just like being like silly, stupid music for little girls. I feel like there's a lot we could talk about here on that topic when it comes to like Harry Styles and or One Direction. So I'll just mention that as like a footnote because I think that's definitely a piece of this conversation, especially with like fangirls not being taken seriously as just individuals who like something, you know? So, footnote on that. I won't really get into it because we kind of have in the past. But I've seen him multiple times. I saw him live on his first solo tour. I saw the Fine Line tour twice, and then I saw the Harry's House tour once. Um, so yeah, as Drew said, he's like an incredible live performer. That definitely must be said. Um, but yeah, I just want to say and kind of start out with like I agree with Drew so hard on everything he said about Harry's debut album. Honestly, it's like I look back on that era of Harry, especially seeing him live at that era too, and just being like, wow. Wow, what a moment. It was such a great time. Literally the best ever. But I really, really, really love his first album. The Harry's first album and Fine Line for me, like looking back on his discography now that he has four albums, like the first and the second ones are like really, really, really those girls for me. I mean, that's without a doubt when I was like the biggest fan of him, like just in my like uh like timeline of like being a fan of his. Like those were the two major, 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 major moments for me. Something I've also been thinking a lot about and just kind of like bouncing around in my brain is like Harry Styles the pop star versus Harry Styles the rock star. Because I think he's also even mentioned like he's never really gonna revisit the sound of his first album, especially after following it up with like three pop albums. So I don't think pop star Harry is really going anywhere. But especially after this album's release, like really thinking back on his first album has just been really making me ponder like what would have happened if instead of Harry Styles the pop star, we got Harry Styles the rock star. Like I honestly think so much about pop culture would be different, to be honest. I'm not upset that we got pop star Harry over rock star Harry, but I just want to know what what he would look like, what his discography would look like if he kept making music like that. Because looking back on it again, like those two albums are those girls for me, but I honestly might also be putting Harry Styles over Fine Line, which I think is it was seismic to say. I'm a little bit nervous having said it, but it just might be the truth. But yeah, I don't know. I would really love to know like the state of music if he continued to make rock music, because it's obviously no secret that rock music is not the dominating genre at the moment, and it hasn't been for a long time, as it, used to be, eons ago. So I don't know. It's just like it's really one of those what ifs for me with an artist that I have been following for such a long time. It's just like what would the world have been like if we got Rockstar Harry? So that's just like a little tangent that I kind of wanted to go on. But as far as kissing all the time and discoing occasionally, I feel like my opinion is kind of middling the two of your opinions. feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I definitely really enjoy the production of this album, and after like many re-listens, I definitely enjoy the easy listening quality of the album. I do certainly agree with the precursor of like dance pop. You should expect like some clubby anthems and some LCD sound system tea. Like again, he should not have said that at all. And it's not dissimilar from Miss Dua Lipa saying that Radical Optimism was going to be a Brit pop album because girl, it was nothing of the sort. So I don't know where these artists are getting the the confidence of saying that their album is going to give something that there isn't even a sprinkle of. I mean, I'll say I think there's a little bit more dance pop in this album than there is Brit pop in Radical Optimism. So like I'll give Harry that without a doubt. But I do think it's a little bit under-delivered when you consider what was being said about it before it was released. Because there really aren't a ton of danceable moments. I feel like everything is pretty typical Harry, except for like potentially Aperture and Dance No More when it comes to like electronic dance music. So, so I don't know. I definitely feel like it was a little bit under-delivered. With that said, though, again, I do enjoy the sound of most of this. As Levi kind of alluded to, even when like being a Harry stan was like my 9 to 5 and my basically my 24/7. Let's not kid ourselves. I really have never really been like living all of that much for the Harry ballads, which might sound crazy to some, but I know for frequent listeners of Miss Pop Girlies Pod, it is not news to some.
Girl,
So,
frequent listeners, listen to one episode and they
stop.
will know.
So yeah, not a secret, but yeah, so like with this being like kind of ballad infused throughout, I also feel a little bit lukewarm about it. Unfortunately, especially with like disco even being in the title, disco ball on the album cover, there's a lot of down tempo moments on here, and there's a lot of slow moments on here, which like really was not expecting, again, with like what was being said about the album beforehand. So that was really surprising. Um, but I will say something that was a major standout for me, which at first I felt kind of sour about, but now I've warmed up to it much, much more, is American Girls. So I think the song is great. And also, it's funny that we're kind of talking about the vocal performance because I definitely think that American Girls is a highlight. And for me, when I was listening to this, it was really jarring at first because I feel like it's been a really long time since Harry has sung with like that amount of projection in his head voice. So it was funny though going online and seeing that people were also saying the same thing and saying that it was sounding almost like a One Direction song because his vocals are giving his vocals when he was in One Direction. So that for me, I was like, whoa, I just feel like I stepped out of a time machine. Like this is a little bit crazy. But going back to what I mentioned in the debrief when I was talking about the former member of the Durutti column, this song, American Girls, is nearly identical to the song by the Durutti column called Future Perfect, which I know I mentioned to you guys. And for those who are viewers of The Bear, you would recognize the song because it's used, I think, in season 2. It's used in like a super cool montage of Chicago and of Io Debris' character, like going around Chicago. It's amazing. It's so good. But the songs are almost identical. So like when this song started, I was like, oh my God. He I mean he must be sat for the bear because like these songs are the same. But this person is a former member of that band. So I'm like really curious where these things are lining up. But that band has also had like a fair amount of former members. So I couldn't really find data on if this person was in the band when they made that album that that song is on. So I don't know. If we have any historians in the comments, please sound off below. But yeah, that was one of the major gags for me on this album was like that song being identical to that Future Perfect song. I was like so shocked. So that's a fun moment. Um but let's see. Just assessing my notes. I feel like my head has been kind of going in so many different places with this album. Um, but yeah, something I'll also agree with, I think, is the vague nature of the lyrics. And certainly, I think Harry's house in, excuse me, Fine Line into Harry's house is definitely kind of like where that change becomes very clear in the songwriting style, which I would also agree I'm not like in love with it. I like when his lyricism is like a little bit more coherent, especially like how it is on his first album. So I would also agree with like kind of struggling with like the lyrical structure and just like the vague quality overall of what's being said. Like sometimes the lyrics are so like this and that and whatever that like it almost kind of frustrates me. Like it almost kind of makes me pissed. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, this is so gobbledygook. Like what are we saying?
It's
You
kind of
know?
Mad Libs. Like it like
It's a
so much of it
little bit Mad Libs.
it doesn't make sense. And it's like the stuff that he's saying is like in and of itself, like phrase by phrase, like kind of specific. Like it's not just like run
Right.
of the mill things, but a lot of the times I feel like there's not like a coherent thread between all these
No.
different like phrases, images, moments. And so it's kind of like I don't really know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. Like something also that honestly was really grinding my gears. I'm like, DJs don't dance no more. What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that?
What
I don't
does
know what
that
that
mean?
means.
What does that mean at all?
What do you
And
guys think the song Pop is about? Silence.
I
Drew.
truly don't. I don't know what any of these songs are about, maybe besides Aperture, American Girls.
I mean, to me, pop kind of sounds like like couldn't you? I mean, I don't know. Again, that's so vague that I'm even having a hard time stringing a sentence together about it. But like, I don't know, the excitement about a relationship starting.
I could not, gun to my head, could not tell you what that song is about. Like, what does
Um,
it's meant to be pop mean?
it's meant to be pop. It's making me pop.
Like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means at all. I can't tell you what it means. I honestly can't tell you what Aperture is about.
It's
It's about, I mean,
we belong
belonging
together.
together. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
It's like anthem of love and unity.
but like the verses, what the hell did they have to do with anything?
See, and that's kind of how I feel about all the lyrics.
Like, it's like, yeah, I
But like,
get
Levi,
it.
you're such a lyrics person, and like, you like this. Like, so there's something has to be clicking.
I'm confounded. I mean, I contain multitudes. Like
Like,
I surprised
because
myself.
when I was listening to it, I'm like, Levi's going to fucking hate this
Do you
because
know what I
none
think
of
it is,
these words
Drew?
make
I
sense.
think it is because like I talked about this in the Midnight's episode, but this truly is like catnip Levi sound. This kind of like bass heavy
Yeah.
synthy moody atmospheric electropop is my bread and butter. That's why when Midnight's was released, it was such a gag because it was like this is like perfectly tailored to my tastes. And so I
But
think that's
like,
doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Um, I don't think there are not like lyrical moments on here that I'm obsessing over.
no.
But I think this is like a rare Levi album where the production is doing the heavy
Yeah.
lifting in the Levi liking department.
He could never, but like, that, this man can never do like picture perfect Shiny Kennedy, or picture perfect.
Well, God no. I mean, fucking Bob Dylan couldn't do that shit, you know?
Right. It's like Holiday
I'm not
Peppermint
comparing
King.
them in terms of quality, for sure. But I do think
No,
they work
I got you, got
similar
you.
sonic landscapes.
But like she can, but like Taylor can do something a little bit more abstract and have the lyrics like seem a
Cohere
little,
together.
and like
I
there
think
was
part of it is
none of
because
that here for me.
that's actually an interesting point, Drew, because Midnight's is kind of her abstract album where she's doing that. Where a lot of people didn't know what the fuck she was talking about when it was first released. And that also is to do with the fact that like it's kind of a covert breakup album because she was still in a relationship with somebody who then she broke up with months after. And then years later, we find out that actually a lot of it's also about Matty Healy because
I
somebody
mean,
was swirled into the poems.
Whoa.
So that makes more sense to me. Why like we would be getting some cross signals. This like I read on Genius right now that American Girls is supposedly about his him watching three of his close personal friends settle down and like him like longing to like settle down to somebody. Okay. Um,
Okay, so I guess
not
I
what I
don't know what
gathered.
it's about. Yeah.
Like not what I gathered. I do like that song. I think that song sounds like a 1975 song.
completely.
Don't you think it
I
sounds
mean,
like a nine?
Aperture also sounds like a 1975 song.
Totally, totally.
It
Honestly,
gives the
kind of a
sound.
lot of this does. Because I think
Yeah.
Coming Up Roses sounds 1975.
Yeah, it's like their orchestral, 1975 orchestral tea.
Yeah, because they kind of like to get orchestral sometimes.
Yeah. As of late, a lot.
I don't know, girl. I don't know about this Harry T now. I think I like it less now that I know more about it.
Now that we've talked about it, you like it less.
And you didn't come in liking it that much.
Girl, like if
And so,
Taylor tried
well,
to do this shit, she would be roasted. If she didn't come in here with visuals and a title that don't match anything.
I mean, that is what people were saying about Life of a Showgirl. I mean, just them not understanding and getting it is one
Right.
thing, but I do
Yeah.
know people who are like, this was supposed to be her cabaret album, which I'm like,
But it
girl,
wasn't called like The Life of the Cabaret.
it's a show. I mean, show, and it's called The Life of, not the show of a showgirl. The life. I love how this is becoming
it's about
me
Taylor all of a
ranting about
sudden.
Taylor. I
Well,
mean,
I mean,
it's
I'll also say though, like Harry's house does obviously have this like abstract lyric tea going on, but it does work at
It
times.
I
does.
do. Little
Absolutely.
Because
freak,
Harry's
little
like
freak.
something that Harry likes to do lyrically is just list off things. Like
Yes, he
that's just
loves
so tea.
lists.
But when it's like keep driving on Harry's house, for example, like it works because it's the
Yes.
bridge, you know?
Absolutely.
Like
No,
it works.
and the bridge of cinema. The you bring the pop and the pop and the I love
Well, I
that.
don't know if that's the same though, because all he says is "you pop" when we're at the cinema. I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's like gobbledygook. He's just saying the same thing over and over again. But like when he does this like listing off of abstract things, like it has, I think, a certain charm when it's on Harry's house. But I think when it's almost the entire basis of the lyrical structure on Kiss All the Time, it just feels a little bit flimsy. You know, like the songs don't have like a strong lyrical base to hold them up. So everything feels a little topsy-turvy.
Well, and also I feel like the production of this album, it feels a lot more emotive and like a lot like we're supposed to be feeling things. And the words that we're hearing like don't make sense. Like how are we supposed to feel anything, you know? That's
I
just
found
what
a
I
way.
took from it.
Yeah.
I felt things to
Oh, you
say.
did. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did. I
Whoa.
do.
I need zero.
Whoa.
Well, well, yeah. I mean, I honestly, okay. I think that's all of my thoughts. I mean, I'm also a little bit lukewarm on the cover. I think it's interesting and I like how it stands out against his other covers. But it's also a little bit like there maybe could have been something a little bit more interesting going on. I'm kind of, again, I'm lukewarm on the title as well. I don't hate it. I'm not obsessed with it, but I'll tell you what, it sounds like a Harry Styles album cover. Excuse
Yeah.
me, album title.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
definitely
Like
does.
does.
without a doubt, that's a Harry Styles album title. But yeah, I mean, I'll say as someone who's been a fan of his for a really long time, very intensely so at some points. Um, this album just it doesn't have the like the the true blue Harry charm that I think is in the other three. And I feel bad saying that, but it's honestly how I feel. This one just doesn't have the same like shimmer and sparkle and like kind of quirkiness that I think the other ones do. I mean, when I say quirky, I think I mean mostly like fine line in Harry's house. Like when we're talking about like his more pop leaning albums. So I think they just have a certain charm and they have like the typical Harry recipe of pop songs where they're like obviously insanely palatable for the general public, but like they're also a little odd, a little weird, like kind of like we've been talking about before. And like while I do think this does like fit that kind of like quirky oddity quality like on paper, like I don't hear it in my ears. Like I don't hear the Harry charm. I don't hear the like tried and true Harry silly fun flirty quirkiness in this album, which I'd also like to acknowledge like artists can like they are allowed to depart creatively from things that they've done in the past. It's like obviously he's not making rock music anymore. We already talked about that. So it's this weird gray area because I don't want to hold him to the standard of like constantly reproducing the same thing. But like for me, like it just didn't have the same charm that the rest of his entire discography does. So yeah, I feel like that's a little bit of a sour note to leave it on, but I did enjoy the project overall. Again, like I think it's pretty re-listenable, just especially like front to back. I think it's fun to have on, just easy listening vibes. I think it's gonna be very nice when the weather gets warmer. So so yeah, those are my thoughts.
Period. We went in
Yep.
deep. We went in deep.
I know.
Yeah. Well, girl, that's why we did the episode.
It is.
We had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll get into our least favorite tracks, which we call our me's after Miss Me Hee Hee Hoo Hoo Hoo,
Of
Miss
course.
Tay Tay. So we'll go in the same order. So we'll start with Levi. What is your least favorite song on Kiss All the Time Disco Occasionally?
Okay, so this is a song I don't, there's nothing I like about this. I think that it is completely like I don't know what it's doing here, and I like find like it kind of offensive. Um, Dance No More. Hate it. I think the teach him how to respect your mother is so disingenuous. So obviously that is referencing like the slang term of mother, which is commonplace kind of now, but that's a slang term that originated in queer spaces filled with queer people of color from like the New York ballroom scene, drag scene. Uh, so there is like a racialized element to that. Obviously, it's like rooted in the queer community. It kind of broke out of gay vernacular into more widespread vernacular. Talking about queerness in Harry Styles is just kind of a recipe for disaster at this point because who the hell knows? Like, you know, is he queer baiting? Is he not queer baiting? Whatever. I don't, he hasn't said what his sexuality is. I don't know. I just think that for somebody who has like kind of towed the line the way that he has, I just find it very disingenuous. Like, you're like a rocker dude. Like, what do you know about this? It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. It doesn't mean anything either. Like it's completely meaningless in this song. Uh like I don't like anything about it. And also the DJ don't dance they do actually. I see DJs dancing all the time. I go out all the time and they're dancing.
I've
So
never not seen a DJ dance, actually.
I've never not seen a DJ dance. I don't understand. And I think a lot of this song, I also feel this way about Aperture. So these lyrics are like things that you might find really philosophical and enlightening when you're like drunk or high on a dance floor in the middle of the night, but then don't really hold up to like a sober ear or eye. Like it's feeling like the music has been heaven sent and there's no difference in between the tears and the sweat. Like that seems like something that you're like, fuck, this is so real when you're like really drunk and partying. But yeah, sure, release yourself. But yeah, no, don't like it. Bee, bee, boo, 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 boo.
Whoa. All right, Drew.
Well, okay, yeah. So my I was having a hard time doing my me because I think there's a lot of songs that do like absolutely nothing for me, which I don't know if that should rank lower than like a song that I maybe like grab onto some things of, but just hate some things about it. Um, but because that like elicits more emotion out of me, I'm gonna go with that. I do not like American Girls.
Mm,
That's my me. I think that the vocals in that song are so bad. I think it's like
really?
Whoa.
the chorus, the it just sounds like he's like putting something on the voice, and it just like I don't know. It sounds like so shouty singy, which like is so not Harry's tea. He's such a talented vocalist. Um
Which is, I
I
mean, if you were into that One Direction tea, though, it's not far off.
I mean I've listened to all of their albums. I never got that from like I don't know. I just and maybe it's just that song that does it for me. But I was just the chorus specifically when he does the like it drives me crazy. Sorry.
Wait,
It
does it
like
drive
sends
you
the
crazy? Do
chills
you hate
through.
it?
It was just really loud for a second. It scared me.
Oh, it makes me like it's making me feel like ugh. That's for me.
Whoa.
All right.
Top that, Maria.
I know.
God.
Sorry.
Well, unfortunately I don't feel as strong about Miley's favorite song.
I know those are two really strong not likes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's just the one that I was bored boots by. So it is Paint by Numbers.
Oh, I like that song. I think that I like I actually really like the lyrics in that song.
Well, we had it. I mean, I don't know. This one was just boring for me. And I don't know. I have a hard time with, especially if like a ballad is like very close to the end of the album, if not the closer. Like, I think it's just, I don't know, especially with the album that's kind of advertised as the
Yeah.
LCD sound, LCD sound system T, electronic dance floor pop, whatever. I don't know. I wasn't expecting all of these orchestral string moments either that are pretty consistent on the whole album.
Hmm.
So interesting there. But this one is, I think, the most forgettable to my ear. So that's why it's Miley's fave.
T.
Fair.
All
Fire.
right, so let's get positive and let's go to our holy trinities. So our top three tracks on the album, Levi will go first.
Well, American Girls was probably like my number four. It was very, very close to getting into my top three. So I escaped Drew
Yeah.
draggings.
I know. Sorry for screaming to headphone users, but
It did scare me. It'll wake people up, perk people up when they're
I
listening.
was kind of far away. I hope it wasn't too loud.
It just was. I loved it. Loved it.
It was awesome.
So my number three is Pop.
Okay.
Again, I don't really know what this is about, but I think that melody in the chorus is pretty undeniable. I think that it has this kind of darker, heavier feel when compared to the rest of the album. I think it has a little bit of like a rock kind of swing to it, that I think works really well. Obviously, we know that he is super adept with rock sounds. And yeah, I just think the chorus is like off the charts, undeniable. My number two is Taste Back. I think Tastes Back that this feels a bit like lyrically coherent to me. I feel it's about like kind of reconnecting with somebody who you had something with, and then like stuff happened, and then like you know things are messy. You're seeing them again. I think there's some really nice imagery going on. I really like the chorus of this as well. Did you get your taste back, or do you just need a little love? Like I do like that. But my easy number one, like one of my all-time favorite Harry songs, immediately knew this the second, Coming Up Roses. I think Coming Up Roses is the centerpiece of the album, in my opinion. Uh, I think the orchestral production is gorgina. I think it's so stunning and beautiful. I think it sits in a really good place in the record. And I think it's interesting. He said on Zane Lowe that when he was writing it, he was trying to write a Christmas song. And then what instead came out was this. Uh, I just find it very emotional. I love the reference to obviously everything's coming up roses from the musical Gypsy. Uh, I think the melody is super strong, but I will say I didn't make this connection on my own, but I've seen a lot of tweets. The melody of the chorus is almost identical to the melody of the verses in Chloe, Sam, Sophia, Marcus by Taylor Swift. I always forget
Whoa.
the fucking order of those people. But like, just for tonight, let's go hangover chasing, and I'll tuck your. My hologram stumbled into my
Oh,
apartment, hand in the hair of some internet starlet. You know,
Whoa.
so
I
it's like
can't
the same.
listen to that song too much.
It's pretty much. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs, the anthology. So I
Yeah,
think,
it's so good.
Taylor is, of course, doing the heavy lifting, I think, with the melody there, but which does make me think, has Harry Styles listened to Tortured Poets? And if he has, I
100%.
I want to know what his favorite songs are. I feel like for some reason he loves Fresh Out the Slammer. That's just I feel like he loves it. So yeah, easy number one for me.
Whoa. Well, thank you so much.
Whoa,
Wait,
Levi likes the ballad. That's a shocker.
I'm not gonna be
Groundbreaking.
able to get that out of my head that it's Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus.
Listen to it again. It literally is like almost identical.
It was TTPD Rajita Manachos.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
That song gives me the same feeling. You know how you said like you could only listen to David by Lord once,
Oh
like
God.
for a while.
Chloe and the friends that do that to you.
That song is
Chloe and the
so
Friends.
upsetting to me. Like that song
I love that
is I
song.
Chloe
have
and
to
Co.
skip over it sometime. Not because of the quality at all. It just is so upsetting to me.
Maria, people on Twitter sometimes call it Chloe and Oomps.
Wait, that's so good.
It's
I
so good. I
love
mean, I
that.
fucking couldn't remember the order. Chloe's it's
For
Chloe and her
Sam,
Chloe or
oops.
Sam,
Sophia, and
Chloe
Marcus.
or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. That's I always want to say Sophia, but it's because it's the girl boy girl boy.
Yeah.
Chloe and oops.
Okay, Drew.
Oops. Okay, my number three is Dance No More. And unfortunately, since I mean, I think by the time I got to this point, I had given up on trying to decode lyrical content. So I didn't pick up on the fact that he was like maybe being very offensive. Because I know that you did like this song at first, and I did not know it was because of that comment. I thought it was because of the whole DJ thing. I thought you thought that that was crass. Um,
Brass.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever used that word in my entire life.
uh, but I thought that song was fun, but yikes, I didn't pick up on that.
So
Like, do you think he was?
Maybe
Do you
I'm being
think
the
he
friend
was
that's too
meaning
woke.
that?
I mean,
well,
I feel like it's clearly a reference to that kind of music and
Yeah.
like that like culture.
so it's interesting because the Genius lyrics do talk about Levi, like obviously what you talked about in reference to the mother lyric. And like when I listened to it for the first time, I heard it as like Mother Earth, like respect your mother, respect Mother Earth. Like
Mm.
because he's Mr.
Oh.
Nature Produce, I was getting like, don't litter and respect Mother Earth, you know? So that was like my first like my knee-jerk reaction to the lyric
Oh,
mother.
because it's after he says "get your feet wet."
Yeah, but the Genius lyrics do potentially confirm like the mother.
I mean, that does make complete sense. What Levi
Yeah.
And
said.
like the way that he says it, kind of that like kind of chanting, like mother, like he sounds like he's doing like an impression of like a ballroom person being like mother, like that's what it sounds like to me. And I'm like, Harry, I don't need this from you. I really don't want
Yeah.
this from you. I don't need this from you. I think you need to
Yeah.
avoid queer issues completely.
I know, and that now, yeah. I mean, he should not be. I mean, I don't necessarily think we should open that box, but that has been something that kind of like I don't know,
Right. I mean
rubbed me the wrong
that
way.
is
But
interesting to insinuate, especially after. Harry's House won Album of the Year over Renaissance, which is the ultimate love letter to ballroom
And there
culture.
we go. That
Oh,
was one of the first things I thought when I heard it.
God.
So
I was
let's
like,
just say
okay,
that.
you beat Renaissance and now you think you can do it too.
Oh,
All right,
So,
God.
next.
I feel like, yeah.
next.
Okay, three bet asterisks or whatever.
Right.
Okay. My number two is Are You Listening Yet? I think that that chorus is kind of fun and like bound. I think it would be a really good tour opener, actually.
Oh, that's the highest praise from you.
Kind of think about it. Uh, and then my number one is season two weight loss. I think that melody is really pretty and
Crazy title.
I mean, it's All Stars.
It's
I mean,
That's
yeah,
good.
the title make he doesn't say it in the song, right?
I don't
No.
think so.
Girl, what does anything fucking mean? Like,
Me when I'm a philosopher.
oh God. Oh, and I'm looking at the cover. I hate the. I like the image. I hate the little kiss all the time in a circle and disco. What does that mean, girl?
Well, girl, it's the album title. Don't you think the album name could maybe be on the cover?
I think he means like
No.
the show. Oh,
Why is it in a shape though?
I think now you're just like letting yourself get mad at everything.
I really don't like that it's in a shape. You can't read it.
Okay.
Why put the words on the cover if you can't fucking read it?
Oh,
Half of the letters are upside down.
Yeah, Maria, why did you graphic design it like that?
well, it's my passion.
Okay, Drew,
Oh,
did you do
girl.
all of
Okay.
yours? Was that your
Yeah,
number
I
one? So your
think.
number one is season two Weight Watchers.
Yeah. Weight loss.
It was a joke.
Um,
Right.
that was good. Okay. Well, let me also just say I think that was the most unpredictable Drew top three of all
Wait,
time.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
completely.
Every time you said something, it was not where I
I
thought you
didn't
were
love a
going.
lot of it, as you know, but
Really?
I'm actually really surprised that you were vibing with the talking on the verses of Are You Listening Yet?
That, yes. I thought
well,
the
the
exact same thing,
whole
Maria.
thing he was talking.
Well, he sings in the chorus though.
Well, no, that's what I like about the song, but I'm saying the whole album is so talky.
Well, the I think Are You Listening Yet though is a
It's
major
like,
standout when it
I
comes
think
to
it's like
talking.
the, yeah, that's what I think too.
Girl, I didn't go to fucking school for math.
All right, all right, all right. All right, so I'll do my Holy Trinity. My three is American Girls. Um, so I kind of disagree with everything Drew said about it, not gonna lie. But I was initially sour on this song because I was like, this is reheated nachos of that Durutti Column song. But I think now that I've listened to it enough times, I like kind of like that they're like companion songs. And I do like that American Girls is like kind of nostalgic Harry T. Like it just gives like Harry of Days Past of like the way that he's singing and like the way that he's projecting onto the song because he just doesn't really sing like that anymore. And it's just kind of like a throwback kind of vibe. So I like it for that reason. My two is Aperture.
Oh,
I
whoa.
Yeah. I was I mean my first listen of this, I was on FaceTime with my bestie Rosa. And I definitely liked it on the first listen. I think like as I sat with it for like, a couple weeks or so, I just didn't really revisit it all that much, but after listening to it in the context of the album, I definitely think it's a strong opener. I still kind of think it may have been like a somewhat weak lead single. Like
Agreed.
it's not extremely exciting. Like it's not like a hype track for an album the way that like I think as it was like accomplished and definitely with his first two albums had like
Pop,
really,
I think
really
Pop
hype
should have
lead
been the
singles.
lead single. I think Pop would have been a great lead single.
I
For sure.
agree.
For sure. But after like listening to it within the context of the album, I definitely really enjoy it. I think it's like the most, I don't know, I think it's maybe the closest thing to what the album was like potentially selling. with this like a lot electronic dance music package, you know? And I think the chorus is like honestly like quite moving. Like I just love the We Belong Together. I think everything that's going on instrumentally on the chorus especially is like really heartwarming and really beautiful. So I really, really liked the song for that, especially. And my number one is Pop. I really liked it. This upon like with my first listen of the album, this was like without a doubt the main song on the album that I had like a really, really strong like first listen reaction to. And I really strongly feel that this is like the song that most feels like classic charming pop star Harry. Like this is the moment. Like this is really like the moment that gives me that where it's like I think a little bit lacking on the rest of the songs. And yeah, I also first thing I thought of when I heard it was that it was giving Harry's House Cinema tea as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my top three.
Major
Period.
T.
All pretty
Period.
different. I think that's the
They
only
all very
overlap.
different.
Yeah. Okay. It's utensil time.
It is.
This is, I'm scared for this.
I'm scared.
Me too.
Well, Drew, you're starting us off. Break out that Drew fork.
Okay, I was looking at previous scores because I feel like that was the only way to justify this. And I gave a really low score because this is obviously low for me. And I gave Fancy That by Pink Panthers a 5.8, which I feel like now I would maybe go a little higher. And this I definitely don't like as much as Fancy That. So I'm gonna go with a 5.6. Sorry, girl.
5.6. Not a great start for Kiss.
All right,
Let's
not a
see.
strong start.
Let's see if the spoon will increase the average score.
All right. Well, I again, we're certainly going to go backwards in time and do the rest of Harry's albums. And I don't think it's a secret that the entire rest of Harry's discography would rank higher than
So much
this Kiss
higher.
and Disco. So I think I'm gonna give this a 7.
That's actually higher than I thought you were going to go.
Yeah, way higher than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I really like I had strong feelings when it first came out, but I think the truth is I really don't hate this album. Like I think for me, especially being like a big fan of his, like I don't know, I don't think it's a poorly made album. I think the production on it is really great. I think the album is actually very, very listenable. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I obviously know a lot of Harry fans are certainly living for it. And I don't want to like invalidate the experiences of anyone that like really, really, really loves this album because they obviously have every right to love it. But for me, with like my experience and relationship as a fan to Harry's discography, this just like isn't giving me what I wanted to give from Harry. So, but I think that's still like for me, I think 7 is like an okay, like
That's
lukewarm.
pretty good for you.
It's a
That, yeah.
lukewarm kind
I
of
mean,
score.
you've talked, I feel like, good about albums that I feel like you've talked more positive about albums that you've scored maybe a little less.
I mean, I don't know.
So, like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that shows that you do like it. Like, somewhat, you know?
Well, yeah, that's what I want. That's what it's supposed to
Yeah.
resemble. So I'm glad that you're getting that from it.
Well, well, thank God.
Yay.
Um,
All right, Levi.
okay. And
Levi Kniflin.
Levi Knife is gonna cut through the noise and go in at a 7.5. Yeah, it's a little off from getting into the 8 level. I was toying with a 7.9, but that felt a little too high. I think 7.5, I really like it. I don't think it's perfect. I don't know, like, love isn't a word I would throw around. I think the only song I like actually like love would probably be Coming Up Roses. I feel like to get into the 8 range, I would need to love it more and also maybe know what he's singing about. But,
That was,
um,
I wish you had the shade button right now.
Oh, darn, it's in the other room. My shade button's in the other room. We'd
But
probably
some,
have to pay royalties to World of
Yeah,
Wonder
yeah.
if
yeah,
we
we
pressed
probably
it
would.
So
though.
we just have to go shade.
Uh, 7.5 feels fair for,
Yeah.
I think, how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we have an average score of 6.7. 6.7!
Harry, you got a 6-7. Let's hear it.
Harry is like tuned in to the
Wait, did he do
zeitgeist.
better than 143? Yeah.
Well,
Can I
Yeah,
change my score?
girl, let's not play ourselves.
yes, he did.
Wait, Kiss and Disco outperformed 143?
Fuck.
Drew's changing his score to 1.2.
I know, for real.
Is it too late to change to 0.0?
Is it too
Zero
late to...
point
Are negative scores allowed?
Okay, so we kissed all the time.
Yes.
So Drew, would you like to share where we're going
Sure.
next week?
Yeah, so next week we're doing an album that I really love. We're doing the album Sour by Olivia Rodrigo, which I'm very excited about. Obviously, she's hinting at a new era, so we're going to be ahead of the game and have all of her discography available for Pop Girlies Nation.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
yeah.
Well,
Boop.
love you, my pop girlies.
Love you both.
Love you, girls.
I'm gonna go kiss all the time.
Well, I'm gonna go disco because it's about that time where it's the occasion to disco occasionally.
Whoa.
How about that? How about them apples?
Ready, steady, go.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Shanti.
Bye.